Welcome back to episode 320 of the Bad Taste Video Podcast. I'm Mike. I'm here with Grizz. We're ready to go back to 1988 to discuss a movie that we both have no idea what the hell happened in it. But before that, let's hit that intro.
In the country's history without getting the full 30% pay raises they were
it's happening.
Yes, that's right. We're doing Twisted Issues, a 1988 shot on video film by Charles Pinion. Avant-garde, punk rock,
nice.
low budget. I guess it says that it's a dark comedy. Yeah, I guess. I see it. There's some funny things in it. I don't know if they're
some
intentional.
elements.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's aimed that way. It's
Yeah.
definitely it's trippy. I think it's definitely, counterculture for 1988. That intro, it really does kind of like sum up the feeling of this movie.
Yeah, like what the fuck was that?
It's hectic. It's leaves you wondering. It's different. I love the actual font of that Twisted Issues though. That looks cool as fuck, man, with the green and everything.
Yeah.
I like the way they did that.
Yeah. Anything the black and green, man. I got a thing for that. I don't know. Always looks good. But yeah, this movie is not quite like anything we've watched, I think. At least in a while. For both of us to be like, hey dude, we got to talk about this like ahead of time. Like, hey, can we try to like straighten some of the plot points out? Can we try to like straighten some of this shit?
Brainstorming, dude.
Yeah, and I watched this fucking thing 3 times for this show, and I'm still kind of confused. And it's one of those things where like the story is like out there, it's multi-dimensional and all that stuff, but also it suffers from being a low budget shot on video film by, people who are just getting started in the world of filmmaking. So it's got some, flaws probably, because you don't know, you can't really tell the way that things are cut and spliced together. It's very out there, very disjointed. So it's a little hard to follow, just like me right now.
Well, it's it's interesting because like these, I don't know, I hate to call it like, oh, it's an art film, but it is definitely like a fucking, an art film in a way. It's supposed to be like an edgy, fucking art film for 1988. But with that kind of comes this little bit of confusion, I think, for lack of a better term, just because there is a lot of jumping around. There's a lot of unanswered plot points that you kind of have to try to put together yourself. There is an amazing, cool little story though, like inside of all of this that I really, really like. And I think we're kind of being like a little, right off the gun, being like, this fucking movie is confusing. Like, what the fuck? But I actually really do enjoy this movie. There's a lot of cool things that happen in it. The idea that there's like give you a little bit of like an idea of what the movie's about is a skateboarder who's kind of like I don't know, a nerd in some ways. He's just a typical skateboarder kid, but he does karate and all this shit and stuff. And a group of rocker fucking punk rock dudes who are drinking and fucking partying and shit end up having a confrontation with him and killing him. And the whole thing is him coming back from the dead and seeking revenge on this group of teenagers that hit him with a car. And that's like the main story that I can follow in this. And there's things around it that are just a little bit confusing, characters that I don't understand, that I was trying to talk to you about.
Yeah.
Being like, who the fuck was this guy, man? So
Yeah. I think you kind of nailed the synopsis of this. That's pretty much what it is. This dude's killed. He gets brought back to life by some wacky doctors slash, back alley surgeons. And he goes on a killing spree to get revenge on not only the people that killed him, but like all their associates also. Pretty much anybody that's ever looked at them.
Friends.
Yeah, he's just wiping them out like it's the mafia. Like your whole everything's getting wiped off the face of the earth.
What's up to Brennan Timmons, Gloomy Vampire? What's up, guys? Glad to see you guys in the chat tonight. This is definitely the Charles Pinion movie, Brennan. Gotta seek it out. Gotta watch it. Look on the internet. It's out there for you to check out and stuff. It's watchable. I really, really enjoy this thing, man. But you might have to watch it a few times. Like Mike said, he watched it 3 times. I actually usually only watch a movie once for the week, and I go ahead and give my opinion of it. This one I actually had to sit down and watch a few times just to try to answer some of the questions. And some of them were answered second time, but some still are, up in the air. And I think that might be just kind of part of the movie. It's not gonna, there is no answer to it. It is what it is.
Yeah. I think where we watched it, it said it was like an hour and a half, but it's really not. There's like a 3-minute trailer in between before. I'd say this movie's only about an hour 15, right? Hour 20.
Yeah. It's a long credit sequence too. It's about that.
I think if it was like an hour, it probably would have been a little bit easier to digest. Right, like you would have cut out some of the stuff that might have been out there, a little too out there, but then it wouldn't be, the movie that it is. It's funny because you said that like it's like an art thing and all that shit. There are like random actual messages throughout the film. Like there's like one where they're talking about like if the cop pulls you over, you're not like you're not obligated to do this, blah blah blah, whatever the hell it was, right? I thought that was kind of interesting how like shit like that was kind of interspliced with the movie. Very late 80s. But you said before, it also feels like it's from the 90s. Like this would have been out on Cemetery Cinema or something,
Yeah, that's exactly how I kept like having to check myself as I'm watching this. I was like, did they fuck the date up? Is this really like a fucking like a 98 release that was shot in the mid 90s? Because there's really nothing that dates this movie except for one thing that I found. It is a skateboarding killer, revenge movie or whatever, and the skateboard is what gives it away as being like a 1988 movie.
Fishtail style skateboard.
It's the big fishtail board, yeah. And like the actual skateboard moves, I was like, all right, that's the only dating factor. Even like the soundtrack is fucking awesome, Cemetery and Show. You're absolutely right. And with that, even the soundtrack is not dated to 1988. The fucking songs in this movie sound like they could have easily been released in like the mid 90s also. Like there's really no defining feature of them. It's not like hair metal or some shit. It's just like kind of this underground,
like alternative rock slash punk.
Yeah. There's definitely some metal in it too. It kind of, you said it reminds you a little bit of the Darkness, soundtrack, but I think like the Darkness has a little bit of like a more metal influence.
Darkness is more like extreme metal, while this is more of like an alternative rock type, like borderline metal, but
still that same like underground feel. Like it's not
just the
mainstream in any way.
Yeah, just the way that the music's in there. Like it's a lot of real like bands playing songs, and it's not as much like score soundtrack. Synthesizer.
There's a long sequence of a fucking band playing a full song in this movie.
I think there's a couple of them, but all the bands that play are in the movie, right? They're all people that like are killed in the film. They're all people that are actors and actresses in the movie. I thought that was pretty cool. It's a showcase of the local music scene at the time. I would love to watch something that was, from the 90s into the early 2000s on Long Island. Like I would be like, oh shit, that interests me.
It's always cool to see like places in movies and shit like that. It's like when I watch The Burning, like I've been to that campground and shit, so it's like fuck yeah, dude.
Dude, that's still the
piece of me that feels real.
Dude, that's the craziest shit to me. That like,
It's so weird filmed here, dude. It's so random.
now, did you know that it was that before?
Yeah, that's why I went. Yeah,
Oh.
I saw I saw the movie first, then I found out where it was filmed, and I was like, well, we gotta fucking go there. Like,
Yeah, you gotta
let's
check it
find
out.
this fucking place.
Yeah, I went to the town where they filmed Friday the 13th, and like that was one that it was only like an hour and 20 minutes away from where I was in New York. I was like, the fuck, it's right over the Jersey border, like in the middle of
we're going.
nowhere. Yeah, you just go, you look at the main street that looks exactly the same from when they filmed it. You go to the diner, you eat fucking lunch there, and then you go home. Like, boom, you did the thing. Because the actual camp is like a Boy Scout camp, so you can't, it's private property, so you can't just go on there. You have to go through like a tour that you buy tickets for and all that shit. And
That's like the weird thing about Buffalo now is that there's like a huge film industry blowing up here because of like a bunch of tax credits that people are getting to like film here and shit. So we have like a huge new like on the out on like the outer harbor, they built this huge fucking sound set thing and shit, dude. It's pretty cool. But it's weird seeing like the streets of Buffalo in movies now. Like they like blew up our main fucking highway in that Ninja Turtles movie that came out a few years ago. So
wow,
like,
that was
you
Buffalo?
can like, yeah, dude, you can like watch it. You're like, holy fuck, that's the fucking highway I drive on all the time,
That's
getting
so
blown
funny.
up.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, that's cool as fuck.
I would never expect people to be filming in Buffalo. Like, it's so random, and it doesn't really look like another city. You know how like sometimes they'll use like cities as like, oh, like, this city kind of looks like New York City, so we're gonna film there. Or this city kind of looks like LA, so we're gonna film there. Pretty interesting. That's pretty cool. Maybe you'll get to be an extra in one of these films one day.
They need me for sure.
You should start looking at the casting calls. They'd look at you and be like, putting this motherfucker right up front. But Twisted Issues. This whole thing is basically a slasher, right? Supernatural slasher.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it. I can't really put another, it's a revenge film, but it's not really like that kind of revenge film. It's just, that's part of the plot. But that could definitely be considered any kind of slasher as well.
Would you consider that? Would you consider this like a splatter film, or do you feel like it really doesn't go like it goes pretty far, but not that far?
It does go far, man, but I don't think that's like, for me, like a splatter film, like that has to almost be like the focal point, like the emphasis of the movie is to get to those points and then push it to that like extreme. Whereas I feel like this doesn't, that's not like the main goal of this movie. The main goal of this movie isn't to like gross you out or to like have these over the top. It's just like, I think the main goal is to like really make this fucking like fucking mainstream
anti-establishment
movie. Yeah, like and even like you said, like talking about how to evade police and traffic stops and shit like that. I feel like it's just made to be like counterculture, a fuck you to everything that's like normal, put into like a horror slasher dark comedy as they called it, kind of a movie. So
yeah, and it all starts off. Well, I guess the good stuff starts off when is his name Paul?
Sure.
Is it?
I think so, dude.
I don't know. Well, he gets hit. He gets hit by a car by this group of bullies, sort of like in the Toxic Avenger when they're driving around and they hit the kid. They just these people just don't give a fuck, right? They're driving around. They had an interaction with this dude before, and they decide, you know what? Fuck him.
And it's like innocent interactions too, it's not like,
definitely not enough
like
to
huge.
Yeah, not enough to warrant this.
No, it's not a huge fight. They get in a fight now. He knows karate, so he's kicking their ass.
Yeah, he's kicking their ass. He gets on his skateboard. Well, he goes to get on his skateboard, and he gets fucking boom hit with the car.
I like that way he looks back and smiles.
Yeah. So our main dude is laying in the street there, and the car like pulls away at like 5 miles an hour, which is hilarious. But then we pull out, and we see a television showing what just happened, and Charles Pinion himself is sitting there watching the TV, almost like a godlike figure who basically goes back and forth with his girlfriend, maiming each other, and they miraculously recover.
Yeah, there's like a scene of him like chopping her head up with the fucking like hedge trimmer because she doesn't like sprouts. It was so fucking weird. I was like, what's up? Like, and that's what was confusing me is like, I understand the story of the fucking killing of this kid who's coming back for revenge. But then it's this like voyeur side of things that confused me a little bit. I was like, all right, who is this Charles Pinion character? Like, you know, like you said, he's like a god figure, but he's like just this fucking punk kid, like in this fucking raggedy ass house, you know, watching a TV of like what's happening and watching everything unfold. It was very strange.
But like he like has a wound on his hand that like heals. She had like her head and that heals. They basically go back and forth like messing. She strangles him to death at one point with a telephone cord. That heals.
So there's like a regenerative quality to them. Like it seems as if they can't die. Is like what the gist of it is. Which is it's not explained though. It's fucking so strange, man.
Yeah, and he's like watching all this shit that's going on with this dude being killed and being brought back to life. And speaking of being brought back to life, he is brought back to life by two very strange doctors. Are they actually doctors, or I guess one is his assistant, and they're also like necrophiles of sorts?
All right. There's a flaw in this scene that I had to like rewind and watch this a bunch of times to see what I was fucking actually seeing. Let me know if you see it when it's fucking over, Mike.
Okay.
You are a very lucky man.
Freaking out.
That's all the thanks we get.
Oh, funny line. Well, he impales this doctor here.
He impales the doctor with a giant wooden stake that you would use on a vampire.
Is it a wooden stake? Because that looked like a fucking pole, dude.
They show him fucking pinned against the wall, and there's like a half-inch pipe through him instead.
I was like, wait a minute. I was like, am I fucking baked? Like, I had to like go back over and over again and be like, he starts with a fucking piece of wood for sure. Like, I've watched him grab this fucking log, and I'm like, that's a pipe in his ass for sure, man.
Dude, that's so funny. I didn't catch that when I was watching it.
Usually you're on that shit, dude.
Charles Pinion, what's going on?
What's going on? Do we want some answers?
And you know, it's funny. The stake that he used was like comically large, like you were trying to kill an 8-foot tall vampire.
Right? It's fucking girthy, bro. God damn.
Yeah, that was fucking nuts. But basically, after this, well, first of all, they say at one point they're like your leg was pretty fucked up, so he took skin from your face to graft it to fix it. And he freaks out, so they fucked up his face to fix his leg.
Mummy wrappings on. I love the mummy fucking wrappings, man.
This leads to him grabbing like a fencing mask.
Yeah, odd choice, dude. Fencing.
Yeah,
mask.
to wear as his like, you know, his like serial killer, his spirit of revenge guise.
So this is where I don't. He also like finds his skateboard and then like drills holes in his feet and like attaches the skateboard to one of his feet.
Yeah.
With no wheels on it, just the deck. It was very fucking very weird.
He was anticipating snow, maybe.
Like a snowshoe.
Yeah.
The thing that I don't understand, do you think that the fencing mask was like meant to be comical, or is it like, oh, this could be like a menacing look? This fucking fencing mask. We should go with this.
I don't know, man, because like the mummy wrap, like the bloody mummy wrap underneath the fencing mask is a pretty fucking solid look, I gotta say.
The fencing mask is so weird, though, dude. Like, I don't know how I feel about it.
Put it on a bigger dude. Put it on somebody that's like my height.
Yeah, like, I could see that.
And like that becomes like a pretty like menacing looking thing with like the bloody bandages underneath that you could kind of see through it. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm surprised there's never been like a fencing killer, you know, like all out with the fucking sword and shit out there, just fucking Three Musketeers and motherfuckers left and right, man.
Dude,
that could be
possible.
pretty cool.
It's possible. It's possible. Hey, if anybody out there knows of a movie where a fencer
Out there,
is
Zorro
the
and some
killer,
assholes,
yeah,
man.
Zorroing people to death, let us know. I'd really like to know. Preferably a horror film and not like a like a pirate adventure movie. Like we're talking
Yeah, I
about
don't want that.
like how
Here's some
there's like
gore.
the carpenter, like the plumber,
Yes.
you know,
The fencer.
the fencer, the swashbuckler. Well, I
The
guess that-
swashbuckler.
I guess that would be pirates. Damn. But this whole movie is basically now this guy just running through these groups of people.
Yeah, he's back and he wants blood, man.
And they do realize that something is going on, which is something they don't really add in these movies a lot of times, right? Like they just kind of like go throughout the film, just getting knocked off one by one in some sort
They're
of. Like,
very aware
super-
that shit's gone awry for sure, and they know that it's like this kid come back to fucking get
Something's
his
up.
revenge.
Yeah, for sure. What's your favorite, I guess, kill in this movie? That's not the ending.
Man.
That's not in the ending sequence.
Yeah. I like this this one where like there's a girl who's like watching the TV and she like sees him at the door. She like sees the fencing killer at her door on the TV. And she's like, "What the fuck?" And she like goes to like answer the door to see if he's really there. And there's like this song playing while she's being killed. And it's so like comical, the stabbing of like the motion of her getting stabbed over and over. This I kind of thought was pretty cool.
So she opens the door to look. Holy shit, he's there. And he runneth her through with his
This
sword.
fucking song though, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah, there's no actual sound of her just getting stabbed repeatedly with like a fucking 2-foot sword.
I love how it's like getting stuck. He's like
Yeah.
struggling to get it off. Dude.
That's like a Casio keyboard going at it, just fucking.
There's something about everything going on in that scene that I thought is pretty fucking great.
At points, the fencing mask almost looks like the Truth or Dare.
Yeah, the copper face killer, dude, for
Copperface killer
sure.
mask. Yeah, certain angles, certain points when he's like kind of further away where you can't really tell what he's wearing. I kept getting like flashes of that. I would say though, my favorite kill in this whole movie is when the dude is in he's in the place ripping the bong. And, and he gets
dude.
fucking hanged by the mysterious noose.
With the magical power juice.
This shit cracked me up for some reason because it just is. It's like if you were watching a fucked up Scooby-Doo fucking movie or something.
Yeah, dude. That's great.
And the
Goes
music
weird.
is sick. This dude's hitting his fucking PVC bong, his acrylic bong, getting fucking all sorts of carcinogens in his
He's
body.
smoking a cucumber.
Yeah, with the metal bowl. He's got the triple whammy.
Oh,
And,
shit, there he goes.
And our killer drops a noose from like the rafters
Hell,
of
he's
his living
picking him
room.
up by his own dude. So
Yeah, this
strong.
guy's like, look,
Fucking
now he's
yoke
on the
him up.
ground, pulling him like he's raising a bale of hay, like he's fucking
Right.
Rick from Friday the 13th, Part 3.
And so, like I was saying before, there's nothing like extremely 1988 that distinguishes this movie to be that time period. Like even the way people are dressed and like the music, everything about this could be a cemetery cinema release, like you were saying, 1993, 1994, and I think you would have no problem questioning it. Even with the fucking goofy skateboard, a kid could just be fucking riding an old school board. Like this could really be like an undateable movie as far as like when it could really have been
Timeless.
made.
Timeless.
Yeah. It's
You know,
so timeless, bro.
you know-
God damn.
Let's play the clip where the dude takes the acid from Satan himself. And he's like outside the 7-Eleven. And you could see like it doesn't really look like it's crazy. It's fucking
like-
it's nuts.
I love the build up to this too because the guy like goes into this fucking store to like buy beer and the cashier's like, "You're not even fucking 21, dude. Get like the fuck out of here." So then he goes outside and the dude in the alley is like, "Hey man, what's going on?" He's like, "Oh, I can't buy beer." He's like, "Oh, I got these got these pills instead.
No,
And,
he's like, would you buy me beer? He's like, I got something better. And he like
Better,
puts out
yeah.
3 Tic Tacs. All right, let's roll
he
this
fucking
clip.
just pops these things like it's
Yeah.
fucking nothing. Oh, they're kicking in.
Are you God?
Well, yes.
It's like shit flashing in and out. There's a kaleidoscope.
Now it's like a fucking zombie looking guy.
It doesn't look particularly 80s.
No,
Like-
dude, that's what I'm saying. Nothing about it is like, holy fuck, this is fucking so 80s.
Also, like that person, like I guess it's supposed to be like the devil or something, but looks like a deadite, and that car looked like the fucking the Oldsmobile, whatever
So-
the fuck it is from Evil Dead.
There's another like really funny scene. It's just like this passing scene too it's like just kind of happens and then like I guess it's supposed to be funny, but it's never really like looked into either more. But like this dude, like the one dude who you just saw like hanging is like going to get a beer. He like opens this freezer up and there's just these like dead bodies in there, and he like still sees the beer in there, and he
Yeah,
like
no
grabs
sells
the
it.
fucking beer.
Yeah, it's like
He
it's
fucking
like
still wants that shit.
that's like shit that used to happen like at work. Like somebody would like open up a room, you see like there's water pouring from the ceiling, like the lights are flickering and sparking. They just shut the light, close the door, and just walk away and be like, I didn't see it.
That's somebody else's problem.
Yeah, whoever, so maybe the next guy will fucking fix it. But let's roll this one. So the Lost Polonia brother opens this giant meat freezer.
He's like shocked at first to see these dead bodies, and he's like, "Oh, there's a beer."
There's like 5 dead bodies in here.
Oh,
And he's
yeah.
just like, oh, he's like still just kind of like rummaging. Oh, give me that beer. Give
Like,
me it.
pulls it out of his hand. It's all fucking fighting back.
Hey, doesn't really give a shit.
Pops the beer, fucking chugs it. Dude, I love
Yeah,
that.
fucking. God damn, man. That would be you looking at my dead
Yeah.
body in the freezer, just
Yeah,
casually
whatever.
taking the beer out. Just be like, nah, whatever.
Do what you gotta do.
Yeah, what can I do now? No use in getting upset. He's already dead. There is a pretty good kill where what do you want to call him? Our fucking swashbuckling slasher or our fencing fanatic? I don't fucking know.
Fencing fanatic. There you go. Now you're making it work.
He fucking crushes the dude's head in the car.
Dude, and the fucking eyeball that comes out is the fucking most ridiculous shit ever.
Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
I love this song. This song rules.
This dude's like tripping, fucking just staring at this guy. But he starts squeezing his head, and he starts seeing blood shooting out like the side of his head. His girl's fucking screaming. Finally, she gets out and runs. They're driving the car from the Warriors also. Yeah, the
There it
eyeball
is,
pops
dude. The
out.
fucking eyeball. That's
It looks like
awesome.
something that like you would get from Oriental Trading, from like the fucking Halloween edition, where it's like, oh,
Fuck
a
yeah.
plastic eyeball in like water that like would,
And yeah,
would
you like
turn.
squish it around and it
Yeah.
fucking.
And it just like spin in the water. That's what that looked
So
like.
good.
Good old days. Back when something that was glow in the dark was all you needed. That was
Yeah,
it.
dude. Gory fucking glow in the dark eyeball. That did it for me for
Yeah,
sure.
is that
man.
why like they were desensitizing us for the war in Iraq and Afghanistan from the
That's
start?
it. Like,
Yeah,
you
fuck,
see
let's-
plenty of fucking eyeballs.
Let's
It
fuck
just
these
is
kids up
nothing.
ahead of time. It's like 1996. They're like, all right, Ogrish.com.
We
Let's
got some plans.
online. Put it online. They like start telling like a bunch of little kids in different schools. Like, yeah, tell your friends. And eventually it fucking spreads throughout the country. Now that's
I
my
know.
conspiracy theory, bro.
like
Fucking write that shit down. Call Art Bell from the grave. We'll fucking...
Rotten.com was an inside job.
Dude, imagine that was to desensitize
that.
us from having the fucking. Damn, bro, that's deep. I'm gonna have to tell the hog that one when we get off. When we get off stream, I'm gonna fucking text him that, and he's gonna go nuts. He's gonna love that one. But yeah, like the head crushing was pretty good. I guess if this was a legit splatter film, that would have been far more disgusting, far more meat filling, I guess you could say.
Yeah, a little more ooze.
I did enjoy the eyeball though. I did
The
enjoy
eyeball made me pop, dude. When I first saw that shit, I was like,
no
oh,
pun
here we go.
intended.
Nice.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
So yeah, this movie is an hour and 15 minutes of this dude just like killing these people like mercilessly. There's at one point he keeps going crazy with the sword. He loves this sword, right?
Good weapon.
He stabs the person through the wall, right?
Oh, this is cool. Yeah, because like this seems pretty violent, and like beforehand he's all like playing possum. Like he's all fucked up. He's like, oh, you know, he's like shaking in the corner, and the guy's like, I don't know what to do, man. Like, and then he, of course, fucking jumps up and fucking stabs this guy and right through a piece of drywall. This is cool looking.
Never hide behind drywall, people. It ain't gonna help you. You're gonna literally run through it, like you can if you try hard enough. Yeah, so he runs, jumps. This song that's playing is the real reason we have the clip. Vomit of love.
Dude, there's his face, man. The face reveal is so good.
Who is it? Behind the mask. Holy fuck. Yeah, the guy pukes up blood.
Pukes the blood. Yeah, this fucking scene rules, man. I love this fucking
awesome.
That's so good.
I love that shit, man. The song playing, just what's going on, how the guy looks, the way the whole thing looks, really, like just the
Came together, man. That scene is probably the best in the movie, in my opinion, man. That really does it for me.
I wonder if I just really enjoy the Cemetery Cinema stuff because they all have this general look to them. It's like
It does look like that, man.
It's a very specific shot on video. I guess what would you call it? Like grain and just the lighting. And maybe
lighting, I think, has a lot to do with it. Like maybe that or lack thereof lighting. Like there's like a certain quality to it.
Like Death Metal Zombies looks the same way,
yes.
right? Like maybe they all use the same camera. Who the fuck knows?
I think it's a camera thing for sure. It looks like a more like common camera that like a typical family in like the late 80s 90s would have, like the over the shoulder fucking camcorder.
Like it's more of like a prosumer model, not quite like a beta cam, but not like the ones that you would see not Kingdom of the Vampire, City of the Vampire. That one has that really, really low grade shot on video look.
Yeah,
like
I'm
a budget
like,
camera, where these look like maybe it's more of like a higher quality prosumer grade, but not quite a beta cam where it looks like something that would be on TV. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like the Cemetery Cinema stuff reminds me of like the cameras that you would see fucking Bob Saget holding on the front of fucking America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah,
like
R.I.P.
that's what like I feel like these were shot on. I had one of those cameras, and like that's what all the fucking videos we would take would look like. Would be like this quality, this kind of like lighting effect to them and shit.
Dude,
I think that might be why they're so endearing to me, though, is because like it reminds me of like anything and everything we shot on our home camera when I was younger. Dude, oh my God. Me and my fucking sister, dude, with this fucking camera. Like, I was a younger brother, so I had an older sister who was a few years older than me. So, like, I was, like, dragged into doing a lot of fucking shit that she wanted to do with her friends. And they would have, like, fake fucking, like, Jenny Jones talk shows with this fucking camera set up, dude. And they would tape them, and, like, they would make like me come in and like do shit. They would make like my cousins come in and do shit and stuff.
That's nuts. That's awesome.
It was so I'd have, dude, if I could find any of those tapes, I would fucking die. They had to be the funniest fucking things in the world, man.
We never had like a video camera. Like the first time I really had like access to one was when I was like older, and I got one when like myself. I bought one, and like by that point it was already like the novelty was gone. You know, and then we had cell phone cameras and all that shit. Like,
I remember getting like my first like mini, you know, cam for like skating, that I bought myself, like the little Sony Handycam and shit
Yeah.
like that, and that like me and my friends would use to like make our little homemade skate videos and shit. I thought that was awesome. Dude, that was so much fun doing shit like that with those cameras back then.
Yep.
I miss those times.
That's why we're fucking crazy now, because we were doing that
probably.
stupid shit then. Now, Grizz, why don't you talk about the culmination of this story? What the
I don't even
fuck happens?
No,
This
dude.
this confused the fuck out of me.
There's like a switch that like happens at one point where you no longer are following the skateboarder story, and like you're now like in the world of like Charles Pinion character, who is like this untold god figure. We don't even know if that's true, but like him and his woman sort of like live in this world where they watching what's happening with the skater, and they somehow can't fucking die. It's a weird thing going on, man. And I don't know who the fucking blonde kid is that fucking comes in.
Yeah.
And I don't fucking understand this, man.
There's like another dude that is like a godlike character who can't die. I think there's a third. Is there a third person that's wearing like the knight's armor?
That's the blonde kid.
That was him?
wearing the and then takes it off at the end after the fucking
Oh
shootout.
yeah, then he's got the gun. Yeah. Let's roll some clips from this. We have a pretty good butcher knife to the stomach during this bloody ending battle.
Yeah, this is where like he's been shot in the head, right, at this point.
Yeah.
And like he has this bullet wound in the fucking head, which I think looks pretty fucking awesome. I will say that this is like, for being some of the most confusing, this is some of the best looking shit in the entire movie. This little like ending thing that's going on here.
For sure.
But this other character, this other god character we don't know, like comes in with this fucking like crazy fucking like white suit and armor, like fucking night mask and shit. And he's got this fucking gun and he's shooting the place up. There's like this big back and forth. And then it like comes to this scene here where we basically get this fucking shootout that ends in a butcher knife stab. And I was pretty surprised with how this scene all came together.
I do like that helmet though. That's a pretty sick helmet.
This looks awesome. With the shot in the face.
Dude, that's Charles Pinion, right?
Yeah.
Give me a beer.
The lighting on this looks amazing. I love this shit. Grabs the butcher.
And he smacks it right in the stomach. The
Good
face
squirts.
that he makes,
Yeah.
the face is awesome.
Love that.
I love
that,
it.
dude.
But unfortunately for him, Charles Pinion is like a ninja, and he
Can't
gets
die, bro.
Yeah, he can't die. But this dude apparently will after getting his fucking neck cut.
Fucking Pinion drops his beer.
Yeah, he
Takes the butcher knife out of his stomach.
pulls the knife out and grabs the dude with the blonde hair. And
Dude, Machine Gun Kelly
gives him-
fucking gets
yeah.
it right here, bro. He's done.
Yeah, he gets the fucking butcher knife right across the jugular vein. Or the carotid artery, or both.
He fucking licks the knife. Good touch right there.
Yeah, so
Then he fucking walks away and gets shot again by the fucking guy. Like neither of them can fucking die.
I have no idea. This is one of those movies where people are going to have to watch it themselves, form your own opinion, and please let us know what the fuck happened in this
Don't
movie.
blame us.
I bet you we're completely wrong. Like, I bet you like we're 100% wrong on what happened in this film. And somebody's going to be like, yo, what are you guys fucking stupid? Like, what movie did you watch?
Yeah.
It's like,
You
yeah.
not seen this fucking show before?
Yeah, we need our hands held during this shit. I mean, I can only do so much critical thinking in a day. But that was Twisted Issues. Grizz, why don't you give me your final thoughts on this Charles Pinion psychedelic trip?
Dude, it's a weird, wild ride, man. I enjoyed it on my few watches that I had. I took different things away from it each time. It's confusing. It's a little convoluted. It's got a lot going on that isn't explained. But if you kind of just enjoy the movie for what is there, and like the base story is really fucking good with the skateboarder and like all that. There's a lot to really enjoy. There's some great fucking kills, and the soundtrack, I think, it makes this, you know, rewatchable again and again just for the music.
Yeah, this would even be a good like background, like a background movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like the
you got a
music
party
and
shit, putting this
everything.
on and stuff.
Yeah, because there's constantly music playing throughout the whole thing, and I think it's definitely worth a watch. I think people should go check it out. I really want to know what people think about this one, so let us know.
Silhouetted animator, 100 episodes away from the big 420. You guys already got something planned for the specific episode? Oh, I'm going to put
episodes,
Mike
shit.
in a fucking coma for that episode.
If you ever see those like fucking those pods they have over in Europe where you press the button and like they introduce the nitrogen in, so like you pass away not like nice and peacefully, he's gonna do that to me.
That's going to be it.
Yeah, that'll be it. R.I.P. me.
It'll be good.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Yeah, just know we're going to go all out. For
But
sure.
that was Twisted Issues from 1988. But Grizz, next week I'm super excited because we're gonna start getting into that Halloween fall spirit with a movie that I'm
surprised me with
surprised.
this one, dude.
I'm surprised we've never covered this before. We've joked around about it a fucking ton. I do actually like this movie. This is one that I used to watch when I was a kid. It's still entertaining as hell, and I feel like I don't watch it as much as I should. So it's always pretty like newish every time I watch it. I always kind of like, oh yeah. And that is going to be the OG, the original Pumpkinhead.
You know, man, this is a movie that every time I watch, I'm always like, damn, that movie's pretty fucking good. Then
Yeah.
I always like rag on it for like the next few years. And then I watch it and I'm like, that fucking movie's pretty good.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
continue that same cycle.
Solid
fucking
story,
over and
man.
over again. Yeah.
Like the series gets like crazier and crazier as it
That's
goes on.
probably the problem.
It gets like further and further away from, I guess, the original feel and everything. But you know, such is life when it comes to sequels. They can't all be.
I'll get it out of our system and say that we did it. Yeah.
Well, I feel like it would be pretty nice to finally cover a movie that we've always like joked about and other people have joked about. This is
Just know the week after is going to be my choice on my birthday week, and I'll be coming in remote, and I'm going to try to find something stupid ignorant for us to watch. That is going to be
via satellite.
Yeah, it's going to be a weird one. I can promise you.
We're not watching Run Bitch Run, man. We're not watching
God
Run
damn
Bitch
it,
Run.
dude. You've already ruined it for me.
Yeah, we're not doing that. Sorry, that's off Tubi now. I think I don't know if it's still on there. But yeah, Grizz is going to be live via satellite in 2 weeks. But next week, like I said, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube page, youtube.com/@BadTasteVideoPodcast. We'll be covering the classic Pumpkinhead. But before we could dive into Pumpkinhead next week, we're going to have to go over to the wide world of metal. And Grizz, what do we have this week?
Speaking of 420, I have the perfect fucking band for that this evening. I brought this band up because I don't really have an album in particular that I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you a little bit of their stuff from all their different releases that you can get a hold of. Well, not all of them, but most of them. Just because this is a band that I've been kind of obsessed with over the past year. I found them, and ever since I was like, I'm in love. This is me in a fucking band. The band is called Bonginator. Probably one of the best fucking names of all time. And like, if you're a fan of like Cannabis Corpse, which I'm a big fan of Cannabis Corpse, but I'm also like, it's just Cannibal Corpse songs kind of rehashed and shit like that. So that's the only thing that I'm kind of like burnt out a little bit about them. Whereas what's cool about Bonginator is like, it's like Cannabis Corpse, but all original fucking music that just rips, dude. And like you just said, when we logged on here, you were like, dude, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, this band is awesome. The production, the songs, everything. This is fucking great. So where do you want to start, man? Because we got
Let's start with the Doinkenite. This is off of their first album, the self-titled Bonginator album, man. This is a good intro to what they got going on. Fuck yeah. Love the artwork. Ignorant stoner metal, dude. This is fucking perfect.
Is this considered slam?
They're labeled as like death metal, but it hits that slam things in a few ways. There's a lot of like, but it also kind of hits this like hardcore fucking thing sometimes. It might just be the heavy use of the two-step that you'll hear a lot in this, but man, this hits all the fucking notes of all those different things that I love so much. Let's move over to Blunt Smoke Suffocation. This is off of their last album that they just put out.
Anything with aliens, I'm in. I like this dude who's making the bong out of the guy's head.
Fucking
Nice. There's a guy putting people in the wood chipper at the back. Aliens.
Love those vocals, man.
Dude, there's like so much like just it's like a groove to everything. That's why like it feels almost like I don't know, man. This band's fucking awesome. It's extremely funny listening to this in your car, also, especially at night.
Dude, yeah.
And because like just the lyrical content, and, like his voice is, I guess, clear enough to actually understand what he's saying. So
Cuts through, man.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. I love this. Plus, like the low end is insane when you listen to it like with speakers.
It rips.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of bass, dude.
This is fucking sick.
The production is real dialed in, where everything is super clean at high volumes, which I really like.
This is awesome.
I saved my favorite for last here, and what I also love about this band is that they love weed as much as I do, but they also love horror as much as I do, and that's like showcased here in this track, "Chopped to Pieces." Love the artwork there, man.
Sounds like what's it called? Mortician.
Oh, there's definitely something.
Zombie Apocalypse.
Yeah.
There it is, man.
Yeah.
I like that it's the Pieces artwork, but the guy's wearing like the fucking like Randy Savage sunglasses. Straight chilling. Damn.
It's awesome.
I love this shit.
Fucking rules, man. Go check out Bonginator. Look up on their Bandcamp. They're on Spotify, Apple Music, all the different places, YouTube and shit like that you can find it. They have some of the best fucking merch ever, so make sure you go and you fucking get some of that stuff, man. This is one band that I highly recommend that you fucking support, because all I want is for them to make more fucking albums nonstop over and over again. So the more that people are pushing them, hopefully the more they do.
You know what really makes me laugh about bands like this? This is like legitimately like relaxing music to me.
Oh,
like the production and everything. Like it's like very
groove.
it's like very chill music. Where you would think something like this, which is considered like extreme metal, would not be music you'd be able to just like relax to and like unwind.
This is smoke metal, bro.
Smoke metal.
That's what this is. You could put this on and just fucking chill, dude.
It's like the cousin of doom metal.
Yeah.
Right?
It's better cousin. Dude.
Like the unmedicated cousin is doing awesome. Smoke metal. Yeah. But like to me, this is very like relaxing music. I don't know if it's the low end, like the bass with like the slow fucking like groove riffs and shit. But like to me, it's very just fucking, I don't know,
awesome.
Relaxing.
The vocals
man.
are
Very
like
zen,
very like rumbly, and they fucking kind of just put you in the fucking zone.
Yeah, you feel like you're in the. You feel like you're in the womb listening to Molly Hatchet.
Like,
yeah.
Engulf me with that shit.
Yeah. I think you could hear Dr. Feelgood playing through. But yeah, dude, definitely check them out. But Grizz, is there anything else, man? I feel like for like once, like we were kind of stumped on a movie. I feel like neither of us had all the answers this week. That really doesn't happen too often.
I was really counting on you to fill me in on some of these things. And I was like, oh, Michael, no, he figures this shit out all the time.
Dude, I'm gonna
And
have
I
to
asked you
fucking.
beforehand, and you were like, I don't fucking know. I was
Dude,
like,
I'm
oh,
gonna
we're
have to
in
break
for
out
it.
the fucking notebook,
we're
the
in
different
for it.
color highlighters. I'm gonna have
Who
to.
is this?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure this fucking shit out because I don't know, man. I was a little confused, and I'm pretty good. I feel like I
You're
let
usually
everybody down.
Detective on this shit, man. You fucking snoop it out pretty well.
See, like I wonder if
It's
that's why.
confusing, man. There's no answers. I don't think there is anything to fucking. I like went into my second watch like really being like, I need to focus on these details. Like there's something that I obviously missed, and there's not, man. It's just
No, it's just not
it
there.
is what it is. Man.
It's
Yeah.
okay. That's okay. Could be worse, man. Could be worse. Could have nothing good going on for it.
Yeah, it could be Edge of the X. So at least it was better than last week's, dude, by far.
There you go. At least nobody gave us any death threats from that one, right? Nobody
Yeah,
said.
surprise, no backlash, man. I know
Yeah,
people
maybe
love
maybe
that.
people finally are seeing things our way. Maybe they're
Oh, shit,
finally.
yeah.
They're like
Movie
maybe.
does suck.
Yeah, maybe this movie does fucking suck. Let me take
What
a-
were we thinking all these
Let me
years?
take my mouth off the knob and let me just. I think this movie doesn't suck. Yeah. I think this is actually the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, now they're gonna watch this one and be like, these guys are fucking idiots.
Right,
Like,
Wait, you know what I watched? You know what I watched that is still fucking amazing though? The remake of Night of the Living Dead. They just put it on
91.
Peacock. Yeah,
With-
dude.
with fucking
or
Mosley,
90.
right?
What is it? 90 or is it 91?
90,
I think it's
91.
I think it's 90.
Bill Mosley and everything, right?
Yeah, but dude, that's on Peacock right now. You got that shit, right? You got Peacock?
Yeah.
Put that shit on.
Great.
Dude, they got the Dawn of the Dead remake. That's on Peacock right now. They got all the good shit. They're getting ready for
Got into-
Halloween.
My dumbass got into watching like Smoky Mountain Wrestling over the fucking holiday weekend, like a rabbit hole that I just couldn't get myself out of.
Been there, done that. Already did it. Let me just go
Good.
like this. I don't know what the hell that makes me. Actually, I should probably hide in a closet or something. Like,
I was gonna say,
I'm
are
a
you proud of
nerd.
that?
yeah. Well, after a while, you're like, okay, I can only watch so much like Monday Night Raw reruns and like all and Nitro. I went through and watched every fucking Nitro. I watched every pay per view. Literally watched every single one.
So it's funny because that's what I'm doing now. Is not every. Well, I'm watching every Nitro from the one where Scott Hall comes out of the crowd to the end of like the NWO, basically.
Yeah,
like,
that's
where it becomes-
actually Let me rephrase it. I watched till like the end of like the good
like
NWO
the
shit.
Wolfpack and shit, all that stuff. That's where I'll probably end. I don't care. About all
I would say I watched up until probably about like 2001 or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's a shit ton of stuff. But after a while, you're like, you know what? Let me go through the other shit. Watch like a little WCCW on there. Go through like some Smoky Mountain Wrestling stuff.
You know what I really enjoy was the AWA, man. I never really gave that shit a chance, dude. Super good.
Yeah, they had a lot of. I think they released a decent amount of VHS tapes, didn't they? I think the AWA. You'll see them randomly
sure.
around. But it's like, isn't it like Vern Gagne's AWA, whatever, or some shit like that?
Yeah,
I
of course
don't know.
it is,
I don't know what the fuck it was, but
Yeah, Brandon.
yeah, I don't know, man. I think people should go watch some of those remakes because some of them are fucking awesome.
That
there are-
90s one is amazing. I actually prefer to watch that one. I mean, Blasphemy or whatever over the original Night of the Living Dead, but that one's great. I'm a Bill Mosley fan anyway, so
Yeah.
him being in that is just a great character for him.
You know, it's funny. I always preferred the 90 one, and now I just kind of like them the same. I don't know what
they got their own quality.
my resurgence with like the original for some reason hit like when I saw it at Mahoning. Like we saw it there at the drive, and I was like, huh, that's actually pretty awesome. Like when
Got a
it's,
good venue for it. Yeah.
yeah, any sort of movie like that when you get to see it in a drive-in, especially like a Romero zombie film, which is like, of course, taking place in Pennsylvania. Of course, it's like in like the fucking rural areas of Pennsylvania.
It's home a little bit for sure.
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Nice.
it makes you feel a little bit cool. It's like watching the Jaws fucking movies from the lakes and shit when they do that stuff.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
I love to do that.
But Grizz, I think that's just gonna about wrap it up this week.
It is that time.
Yeah, it is that time. Where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me on Instagram at Kane_enabler.
And you can find me at Bad Taste Video, and you can find everything we do at www.badtastevideo.com. And like I said, we will be live next week, next Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@badtastevideopodcast, where we will be discussing Pumpkinhead. You can find everything we do at www.badtastevideo.com. I'm pumped for the Halloween spooky season. No, we're not saying spooky season. We're just going to say the Halloween season, the fall season. We have one confirmed awesome guest. We'll announce that at the end of the month. That's going to be a great fucking episode. We're going to try to get some more, but we got a lot of good movies that we have that we've been kind of holding on to for this time of year. And it's going to be pretty fucking great, man. But as per usual, you could listen to this. We release it every we release it every Thursday on all the podcast platforms. Or if you want to see the video version, you could go to our YouTube channel and watch all the previous episodes. But Grizz, is there anything else that you would like to mention?
Oh man, fucking Pumpkinhead. We're gonna fucking do it up.
We're gonna do it, man. Lance Henriksen. Let's do that shit, bro. Good. Hell yeah. I want to thank everybody in the chat for coming. I want to thank everybody for listening. I want to thank everybody for watching. And we will see you next week with Pumpkinhead.